So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this little nice mini tutorial on how to make nice vacation videos. I am always on vacation with my LUMIX S camera, and when I do little nice vacation videos, I always bring with me the 16-35mm. And I usually start my vlogs when it's either daytime and I have a little bit time, or especially at sunset. That looks always cool. And my tips for nice vacation videos. Of course, when you have a drone with you, you don't even need a high quality DJI R3 drone. My first vacation videos I did with the DJI Mini 1 drone. That was a little cool drone. And I always do some shots where I take really long takes. I fly maybe 15 seconds in one direction without changing the movement of the camera. That always looks nice. Then I always tilt the camera down, and then I film the waves hitting the rocks, and I try to film in sunset. That looks always really cool. And this gives me... What? Der Ball? Können wir machen. And I always try then to film the waves hitting the rocks at sunset, and that gives nice long shadows. At daytime, especially when you have noon and it's the sun high in the clouds, I try to film everything like a little bit with foreground. Even when you don't have a wide open aperture lens, foreground gives every lens a little nice bouquet. And I try to film my shots, I try to film nice little plants and leaves. That gives always, even on aperture f4, a nice little bouquet in the shot. And that gives your vacation videos a nice feeling. I try to film smooth movements. Usually when you start, you want to have a lot of movements, parallax effect and everything. But for me, when I became more advanced and older in my vacation videos, I make it a little bit smoother. Always film vacation videos when you're in sunset, especially backlit, against the sun. Not directly into the sun, but when the sun is slightly above the camera. You don't have then so much lens flares. You can protect even the lens with your hand to avoid a little bit lens flares. That helps. And that's why the little sun hood is on your little lens. That helps the little sun reflections. Sometimes you want this. And transition from drone videos to phone videos, I try to then emulate the same movement. Especially when the drone is flying forwards, the next shot on the ground is then always a little forward shot. You can also then push in post and move the camera like a little bit forward. That gives a nice transition, because when you move then, like also in drone videos, from left to right, always left to right, up, down, that annoys the viewer. And when you have something in frame, like you always shot your things that it's center framed. Center framed for each shot looks always pretty cool. When you decide, like Sam Kolder, his videos are always framed like this, that the movement is on the left side of the frame, on the left third or on the right third. That gives a nice golden ratio movement, and not movement but look. And the framing is then very important, that you keep the same framing. Especially when you decide, okay, I want to make now some pretty nice cool vacation shot that mix with each other very well, then try to film like the next shots that the center framing is for the next 5 shots equal. And then you frame it that you do some left panning for the next 5 shots, and so on. That gives your shots then a nice smooth movement. Also, when you position yourself in the shot, the next shot should be equal to that. You can disrupt this movement as well with like little jump cuts or little wipe transitions. That's also a style. But when you then stick to one style, that gives the video then another feeling. Some people I see, when they try to film a shot, then the movement is on the left frame, then on the right frame, and your eye have to wander around the frame pretty often. But that disrupts the viewer. It gives not so much attention. When you want that your people watch the videos, then try to have the movements on the next frame on the same position. Also, when I try to film vacation videos, I do some shot that matches, a match cut. When I move in a frame, then I move to the next frame, make the same movement, I throw a ball in the sand, and then I reposition the camera and place the same position and film the exact same thing. That looks always cool. And B-roll I do always in then 50 FPS or 4K 60 FPS, especially when it's nice, bright and sunny outside. Your ND filter is maybe not enough for filming wide open aperture f2.8, especially not in Vlog. In the LUMIX S5 the minimum ISO value for the Vlog is 640, and even with a 400 ND filter is this not enough for wide open aperture. That's why I close then the aperture, or when you have no movement in the shot, when you don't pan and tilt the camera, and when it's not so much movement, you can always shoot a 90-degree shutter angle or even less. People will not notice it so much, but in cinematic movements is it cool to stick to one shutter rule, like 180 degrees. That's cool. On the opposite, when it's dark outside and you don't move the camera, you can break the shutter rule as well with 360-degree shutter rule. If you don't move the camera, nobody will notice it, and you have very better capable dynamic range, and you have then way better low light capabilities in the LUMIX S5. Man, my English on this vacation is sometimes fucked up, but who cares? And on sunset is it especially cool when you film against the sun. That looks always cool when you then move a little bit, you run around, and then you place the camera to the next place and the next place. You only have maybe, it depends on the location, 45 minutes of nice sunset light. That's always the light I go for, and then I plan my shots in my head. Let's say I want to do some match cuts, then maybe I do some, okay, I walk at the beach, place the camera in 3 different spots, and that looks always nice. And sometimes it's even cool when you film the whole beach on like f11 or something. That gives also a cool vibe, because everything is in focus. That can look quite cool in my opinion. Try to avoid a lot of people, especially when you have a big camera. Some people feel then a little bit annoyed when you have then a big camera running around them. They maybe think you film themselves. And also on the drone on the beach, on the crowded beach, is always a thing. People tend to hate it because they think you film them, you want to see the nice beach and stuff. So I try then to fly my drone where not so many people are. There's always on the beach a place where not so many people are, and that looks, in my opinion, way better. Also, when you have then a modern drone, you can track yourself walking at the beach at sunset. That looks always really nice, and you then can take some pretty cool walking shots around you. The wind is a thing. You have then to watch the wind, especially when you have the DJI mini drone. You have to watch the wind, and on some occasions it's not so much a problem, but beware of drone flyaway stuff and stuff. I was super brave with my DJI Mavic Mini. I flew it like 400-500 meters away on my first vacation in Greece. That was pretty cool, and the drone came also back. You have then not so much connection issues because nothing is around. In the city does it work quite different. And you can collect all kinds of B-roll, and then you decide, okay, I do a day where I only do vlogs, then I switch to the lens, the 16-35 with microphone, and then you collect B-roll afterwards. You don't have to do everything like it's supposed to be, like B-roll and then talking, B-roll and then talking. Stick to one thing, and then is your brain much more free to have more shots that are equal, you know. Making cinematic vacation vlogs is pretty cool for me. I see it always like it is a little diary for my vacation. I even look after them when it's 1 year old, and I show it some people, and that's a pretty cool thing to have a nice little vacation diary when you do it like this. And I always like walking at the beach shots. You can be creative with it. You can place the camera really low, and even if you don't have the wide open aperture shots, that looks also on f5.6 on a long lens. When you have the kit lens, the LUMIX kit lens, that looks always very nice. And you can place even some things in the foreground, get some sticks, some leaves, a little bit sand and everything, and that looks always really cool. You can also, that's one tip I can give you, walk in the water, come back out of the water, but beware of placing the camera next to the beach. The waves can hit the camera and everything, especially when you have a tripod and sand. Beware of that. Also get a little lens protection, like an UV filter at least, and then also an ND filter, because when you switch ND filters and UV filters all the time at the beach, you can get a little grain of sand between the lens and the filter. So I scratched my LUMIX 24-70 S Pro lens. That was really a bummer. A little scratch doesn't affect the image so much, but it is a little bit annoying. So I scratched then my little lens, and that's the thing to avoid. Tell me maybe what your beach vacation tips videos are, and also nice bring a nice pants with you, like when you want to do some nice vacation videos. I always find it cool when I bring my nice, I have all kinds of different swimsuits. This one is from Addicted, and I have a lot of different things, and I think that's pretty cool when you then make some nice beach videos. Also as a man, you want to look nice at the beach and bring something nice. That's always a thing I like. People find it sometimes pretty funny, but I'm from Europe. I like to run around on the beach in a song. Here in Egypt is it not possible because I land then maybe in jail for that, I don't know. So I stick to this kind of swimsuit. And what is always also cool to catch is like little wildlife, little birds or whatever, dogs and cats, that mixes your footage a little bit, and that's pretty cool. So that was it for my little short vacation video tips. Tell me your vacation video tips in the comments. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of this German filmmaker, videographer. I always say filmmaker. I'm not a filmmaker, I'm a videographer. I'm a video production company. So see you in the next vlog. Thank you very much.